Well, super excited to be back here at Notre Dame, my first press conference. We've had, started practice October 14th, and it was an incredible first day for me being back. It felt very surreal, but it's been an awesome week and a half. Our women are doing phenomenal. Our freshmen are really working hard, and every day to me we're just working on getting better, really focus on habits and focusing on just making sure our activity is there, and we're just growing as a team, growing together, and every day is it's an exciting day for me.
All right, first question is going to be from John Finneran.
Hi, Neil. Welcome to Good to see you. Could you tell us a little bit about the recovery of some of your players who had some surgeries or had some injuries last year, and also talk about the newcomers and how they're fitting into what you're trying to do with the team?
Yes, our returners, Michaela Vaughn, I'll start with her. She's coming back from her ACL, doing really well. She's just limited a little bit. She's doing some 5-on-0. She's going about 50% capacity right now. She's 7 months post operation, and so we should hopefully have her back in another month and a half. That's really kind of limited to the medical team. So she's progressing really well. Sam Brunell is progressing well. Had a little bit of tendonitis last year. Had a little bit during the summer quarantine, and so she's transitioning back on the court with us. I'm super excited for her. And Anea Peoples, she's doing really well. She's coming back from her shoulder injury. She was full go right before the pandemic hit, and so during quarantine, she was completely cleared, and when she came back in August, she was good to go live 5-on-5, and she has had an incredible summer. I'm really excited about where she is right now. She's in great shape, and her shoulder's doing really well. So very excited about our returners, the ones that were injured last year. And as far as our incoming freshmen, I'm very excited about this group. It's a highly ranked recruiting class, and having the opportunity to work with them, totally understand why. They've all made a great transition into college, and really excited about their potential, working extremely hard and getting better every day. And also with the addition of Dara Mabry, our transfer, she's doing phenomenal as well. So very excited about our newcomers.
All right, up next is Pete Byrne.
Hey, Niele, how's it going? Two questions for you. First of all, you've been coaching for about 15 years now, but you've always been an assistant coach at a variety of levels. So I'm just curious, over the last 2 weeks, now that you've been on the floor with your players, what's it like being in charge and doing the stuff that you want to be doing and putting together the team you want to be, you want to reflect you? That's one question. And then the other, what sort of insight can you give us on your schedule, if you know when it'll be released, and what it's like preparing for a season where maybe you don't know still who and when you're playing?
Got it. It has been an incredible 2 weeks of being in charge. I'll say that. I've been, like you said, I've been preparing for this moment for a long time. And so stepping on that court the first day felt like full circle for me, being back here at Notre Dame, but also, just having that a dream come true, really. So this is what I've been working for, to be in this position. And so it's been incredible, an incredible feeling, an incredible moment for me, being able to lead the program that I love so much. And so it's been very, very powerful for me to be in this role, and the last 2 weeks have been incredible. As far as the schedule, we are currently still finalizing our non-conference schedule. It should be wrapped up probably by the next couple days, actually. What I could tell you is the ACC schedule will begin on December 10th. We will have a 20-game ACC schedule, and so that will hopefully be released within the next week or so. So, excited that now, and it's a lot due to, kind of waiting for different conferences, and everyone's trying to manage and navigate their schedule with the late start. And so I'm hoping that will be revealed to everyone in about a week or so. But we definitely have been flexible because of all the challenges with COVID. So just excited to be able to say that we can start playing soon at the end of November.
Up next, we have George Bashir.
Good afternoon, Coach, and welcome. As we've seen with the football team, the COVID-19 activities has impacted their play. The stop and play and stop activities One, what have you learned from the football team as far as their activities of working with the players and the protocols? And two, how has all the COVID activity actually impacted the mental prep for your players?
Yes, I've learned everything from the football team, to be honest. You know, they were here early, and so they pretty much created the playbook for all sports teams. And so we're all fortunate that they were here and that they did a phenomenal job this summer that carried over to the beginning of their season. So I felt like Coach Kelly, his team of coaches, and the entire Notre Dame medical staff did an incredible job of preparing all sports teams. So as I've navigated through COVID, I've used a lot of the examples that they've set. We've had conversations with their director of ops and other coaches, you know, just to make sure that we were following along their guidelines, and also just asking a lot of questions so we can implement their style and what they've done to be successful for our team. I'm sorry, what was your second question? I think I remember.
Go ahead, George.
What was your second question? Make sure I got it.
How was the start and stop affecting your players' mental preparation as well as physical preparation for the season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're getting tested every week, and so you know, after those tests, it's just we have to navigate depending on what happens. And so right now, we're very fortunate that we have not had any stoppage of play since we started on August 10th. We've had to go through different phases. You know, phase 1 and 2, we only had one coach with a player. We're still in masks. And then it progressed to phase 4 where we can have 5-on-5. But luckily, we've been healthy. And again, as my staff, I have an incredible staff and I have an incredible medical team. And so we're prepared for any and everything. I think you have to be in these times to just be prepared. And again, just kind of following how football navigated with their stoppage of play. We're hoping that if it does happen, that we will be prepared and, you know, accept whatever comes our way. But I think, you know, regardless, this is an uncertain time. We all understand what we're going through. And, you know, I'm very confident that if something does happen with our team, that we will work together and get through it.
Up next is Anthony Anderson.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
You mentioned a 20-game ACC. I'm wondering also how many, roughly, if not specifically, non-conference games there will be. And then my other question is, has anything been finalized on how many, if any, fans will be allotted? And if they're not, given their presence and their passion over the years, how different will that be?
Right. So right now we have 4 to 5 non-conference games. So the highest amount will be 5. So we're again trying to navigate through that. So either 4 or 5 non-conference games. And as far as fans, we are waiting to see what Notre Dame is going to allow us to have. So I'm not very sure about that answer, but I know that they're trying to follow through, trying to see with our fall sports, with volleyball, just to see how successful that would be with fans. And so we'll play that by ear. If we'll have fans, and again, I think that's the best part of Notre Dame. I think we have the best fans in the land, and I feel like not having our women's basketball fans is going to be really difficult. But we're going to try to navigate through that and try to create our own energy if we don't have fans. But you know, again, I think our fans understand the situation that we're in. So we're just very fortunate to be able to play. So we're going to take it as it goes.
All right, next question is from Hayden Adams.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to ask about Danielle Cosgrove and how the program is handling that situation, and more broadly, how you are helping all of your student athletes cope with mental, strain, which, the entire student body is experiencing at this point.
Right. Very unfortunate for Danielle not to be with us, taking a leave of absence, but we have a great relationship. She has a great relationship with our team. And as a coach, I just wanted to make sure that she had all the resources that she needs in order to get to get healthy. Mental health is one of the number one, problems with college student athletes right now. And so my full focus was to make sure that she was getting the help that she needed. She felt we all just came together with Danielle, with her parents, and myself, just to make sure what was the best situation for her. And for her, it was going home to get help. She received a ton of support and resources here as well at Notre Dame. But she just felt like this was a good time for her to be able to go home. And we're still kind of working with her and our medical team and counseling team to make sure that she has the right resources in her home area. So we're still, still having that relationship. And as far as the team, my whole goal, especially coming back, was to make sure that I was helping them in all forms and fashion, not just basketball. So, I've engaged with them while we were away with Zoom conversations once a week to make sure that they were healthy and, that they had the resources that they needed, a lot of communication, a lot of education on a lot of different topics. I also had a meditation teacher come on one of our Zoom calls to help our team, just to, again, a form of self-care, something for their mental health. And so I'm going to continue to do that in this role. Being a student athlete, I understand the pressures that they have. And so, I'm hoping with myself and my staff that we can continue to help them, take care of them outside of just, develop them as basketball players. I think it's more make sure they're well-rounded. So I'm going to continue doing that. As through the season. And that sometimes, like I said, that could be bringing somebody in to talk to the team. We practice meditation as a team, yoga, whatever resources that I think that would be beneficial for them. I'm going to continue to do that throughout the season. And then also, I'm very fortunate that Danielle and I have a great relationship. She was just back in town this weekend and came to practice. So I wanted to make sure that she's staying engaged with this team and for her to understand that she's still part of our team. And so I think that's really important.
All right, Sean Stiers, you're up.
Hey, Neil, you've only been at this obviously for, less than a couple of weeks now, but I'm kind of just curious, are you starting to see sort of an identity from this team, and or is there one maybe, that you're looking for? And then two, sort of following up on what Pete was asking earlier with this being your first team, do you sort of, when you're out there, do you kind of have those what would Muffet do moments, those kind of things?
Excuse me. Yes, the identity of this team, I'm creating the culture. And I think that was the number one thing coming in. I wanted this team to learn how to compete. Coming off of last year, we have a young team. And that was the first thing that was the main thing I was, trying to build coming back is great habits and culture. And I feel like the identity of this team is that they work really hard. They are very coachable. They come in every day with a hunger. They want to get better, and that's exactly the culture that I wanted to bring coming back. And so that's what I would say. The identity of my team is that they compete and they work hard, and that's something that I'm very intense. I was always a passionate assistant coach, but definitely feel the same way as being a head coach. I bring my passion and energy every day. I'm a very I read energy. That's something that's very important to me, and so I always make sure that they come in ready and with a good attitude, good energy, ready to work. And so I would say that would be our identity. And the second question, can you say your second question again?
Could you hear any of that, or do I
There
need
you
to
go,
ask?
Sean.
Just, I heard the beginning. I couldn't hear I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I think I got remuted.
Okay.
Just with this being your first year, and as long as you worked with Muffet, do you sort of, when you're out there on the floor, what would Muffet do moments, those kind of things?
I'm not there yet, but I definitely feel it's funny you asked that question because this past weekend my staff they said you even stand like Coach McGraw. It was just really funny that they mentioned that. But I always have exactly how I'm going to be each day or what goal I'm trying to accomplish each day. And I definitely feel that there's a lot of Coach McGraw that rubs off on the things that I say and how I coach. But I haven't had a what would Muffet do conversation with myself yet, but I'm sure it's going to come.
All right, up next is Mark Skoll.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious, have you talked to Muffet at all during this process? And what has she told you? What kind of advice has she given you after these first few weeks of practice? Two, what does Dara Mabry add to this team? And three, I saw during quarantine, you guys gave Nicole Benz a scholarship. Thought that was a really cool moment. What did she do to deserve that scholarship?
Got it. So initially, yes, Coach McGraw, I actually try to meet with her once every week if I could, during over quarantine. We met outside, social distance. I'm always a person that wants to learn and be a sponge, especially with Coach McGraw. So this past in quarantine, I met with her multiple times, and then since practice, I went through the whole practice for a week, and then we met up a couple days ago, and she was so excited. She loves to practice, first of all, so she was so excited to hear how practice was going, and so that was really awesome. Just to get her advice, I got her advice over certain things that I'm trying to implement, some things just culture wise, leadership wise. So picked her brain about some things, and for me, it's amazing to be able to have a Hall of Fame coach that I can go, 15 minutes away from campus and, just vent to if I have to, or just lean on. I think that that's why I've been successful, that I've surrounded myself with great mentors and just great people. And so I'm very fortunate to have her as my mentor still, and have that relationship with her. So she gave me some really great advice on some things, and just preparing for, going into week 3 of practice. So very fortunate for that, for her, and definitely leaning on her. As far as Dara Mabry, she brings so much leadership. Just initially, when she came on, joined the team, I had her join our Zoom calls so she can meet the entire team, and just her leadership by being on the Zoom call just brought another dimension to the team. And so I think her experience being in the ACC, her being a junior, playing in the ACC for 2 years with a really great program with Virginia Tech, she's going to bring so much experience and leadership. And I also think that she's one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. So she's going to bring great 3-point percentage to our team. So I'm very excited about that. I want to play very fast and want to shoot a lot of threes. So she's definitely going to fulfill that role for me. But yeah, like I said, she brings the intangibles. She's tough. She brings a swag. The entire Mabry team, Mabry family, as you know, Marina and Michaela, she definitely brings that energy and confidence. And I think that's something that is going to be very beneficial for our team. And then as far as Nicole Benz, she completely deserved that scholarship. She, first of all, she's come out, she's gotten a lot better even since I've been away in the NBA. So I came back and I'm like, wow, Benz has really worked on her game, but she brings everything. There, 1 year she was a manager. The year 2, she was, came on the team, was a walk-on. And then, year 3, her junior year, she went back to be a manager. Then they brought her back on. So she's basically one of those, multi-talented players, and just great. She's a great person. She does whatever is needed. She's just extremely bright young lady, and I'm just very fortunate to have her, and the team loves her. So I thought that that was a great moment for her, but I felt like she earned it and deserved it.
All right, we're going to pitch it back to Anthony Anderson.
Hi again, Neil. I'm wondering, relative to your expectations, who among the returning players has really turned your head if they've improved even more than you anticipated? And then who among the freshmen has brought an ability that's even more than you anticipated based on what you saw of them in high school?
Yes, well, right off the bat, I would say Anea Peoples. I recruited her since she was in 6th grade, 7th grade, and this year, having her come back from her shoulder injury and just seeing her development and her growth is incredible. She is playing at a very high level. She has, she's in better shape. She's worked on her game. And I think always, especially being, coming back from 2 knee injuries here at Notre Dame, I know the feeling of coming back from an injury, how much you grow from sitting out and watching. And I could tell that right away the first workout. So she has been an extremely bright spot for me. I'm super excited for her and what she's going to bring. I think she has an incredible potential, and very excited for her to play this year. And then as far as our freshman, I think Maddie Westbeld has surprised me the most. I knew her talent. She's very different from her sister. She's very versatile. But she came in with a college body, and so I feel like she's had the easiest transition coming from high school, and she's definitely been somebody that you guys will be talking about later. But she's has an incredible work ethic, and again, like I said, she's very versatile. She can play the 1 through 5 position, and it's something that I need right now, especially with recovering from a couple of injuries with my bigs, our posts.
Up next is Angelo DiCarlo.
Niele, you've had a lot of smiles during this press conference. Is part of this still surreal? And also, when you're out on the court with your team, are they getting a lot of smiles, or are they getting the hard-nosed Niele? Which version are they getting?
A lot of smiles because of where I am and what I'm talking about. So, Notre Dame is a special place for me. And so just every day is a blessing for me. So that's where all my smiles are coming from. And then obviously being my first press conference. And then in practice, my smiles, they don't last the entire practice. I will be honest. I'm very intense, but again, it is a joy to be here, and I understand how blessed I am, and so I hope that it always exudes everywhere, every moment of every day, especially in practice. I just love being around the team. I'm definitely very intense, but I also, as much as I'm on the team, again, I'm still building culture. I'm still building so many little things here with this program. I'm also super grateful, and so they always put a smile on my face. We always end the day with something. We always start the day with something good, and we always end the day with something good. So that's important to me. But again, these young women, they mean a lot to me. So it's easy to have a smile on my face working with them.
I got time for a few more questions. We're going to start with Graham Hayes from ESPN.
Hi, Neil. Just curious how you've started, with all the unique aspects of this season, how it shapes up, how you started thinking about the NCAA granting the extra year of eligibility for winter sports athletes, and just what challenges that may pose in kind of shaping a program as you're doing all your planning.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. It's great for all students, all student athletes, and it's something that I'm probably going to try. It's definitely probably going to be a challenge a little bit, but I'm definitely going to navigate through that towards the end of the year. Right now, my focus more is just getting to the first game, preparing, getting to that first, and getting through the season. But I think with my staff, we'll try to navigate what that really looks like for us, because I think it's hard to kind of understand the magnitude of that right now, but it's definitely something that we will try to navigate through towards the end of the season to see how the season went and everything that it entails. And so just getting more education and information about it is what I'm going to definitely do this entire season, and kind of lean on my athletic director, Jack Swarbrick, and just see what it looks like for Notre Dame.
Okay, up next is Mitchell Northam.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Coach. You and Kara Lawson are the two new head coaches in the ACC this season, and there's a lot of similarities there. You both played for legendary coaches and Muffet and Pat Summitt, and both spent time in the NBA, and you're both Black women. I was wondering if you've talked to Kara at all, and if you think the two of you sort of represent a new generation of college basketball coaches, at least in the ACC.
Yes. So I had a great conversations with Kara when we played them in Boston this year, and as in every female assistant coach in the NBA, I felt like that was really important to have that sisterhood. And then when she was hired at Duke, I reached out right away, text her, and then we actually talked on the phone, just to let her know, like, if she needed anything. I've been fortunate to be able to say I was an assistant coach for 12 years, and her being first time collegiate coach, I know that's a different set of challenges with recruiting and everything that entails being in college. And so I just wanted to I reached out to her just to make sure she knew I was there as a resource for her if she needed any assistance, any help. And so that was really important. And we have a great, really good relationship. And I think that it's definitely a new era of women's basketball. We always talk about the new era here at Notre Dame, but I think just new energy, young coaches, and fortunately, there's more African-American head coaches, and I think that's incredible. So I'm very happy about that.
Up next is Lou Samoji.
Good afternoon, Coach. You talked about some of the personnel there with Anea, and with Mickey Vaughn out, I think you mentioned about a month and a half. How do you see your lineup shaping up? It's obviously much more guard heavy, but where do you see roles for specific players, such as at point guard is it Dara, is it Caitlin Gilbert? Are you really still in the process of trying to find out their niche and roles?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm really right now trying to find their niche. Right now I'm working on establishing roles. Again, I didn't have them this summer, so The first time that I've had them 5-on-5 was in September. So I'm very, this is very new for them. You know, just my whole thing, like I said, is building culture, building habits, building the foundation, which is my offensive schemes, defensive schemes. And then I feel like, and just especially being a part of so many incredible teams, the roles will establish themselves. Right now, I don't have a set five. I'm allowing them to all have an opportunity to choose their minutes. Really, it's in their control. So right now, I'm working on getting the entire team healthy. Once I can have the team healthy, you know, maybe about a couple weeks prior to our first game, you know, I'll start establishing roles and try working on my starting lineup. But right now, we're learning and we're growing and trying to get better every day. So that's my focus. So I think that's going to be down the road. But I'm just fortunate to have more depth this year. I think that's really important for this Notre Dame women's basketball team. So we didn't have that last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of different combinations. I think this team is ready to do whatever they're willing. And that's what drives me every day.
All right, we have time for one more question, so we're going to pitch it to John Finneran.
Neil, first of all, I got two real quick questions. One, who are the leaders who are stepping forward for you with their voices on your team? And the second one has to do with, are you hearing voices from down State Road 25 in Purdue? And how is your son doing down there?
Thank you for asking about my son. And I just forgot your first question. Sorry, because now you went to Jaden. So my first thought is Jaden. So what was your first question?
The first question was about
The voice.
the voices on your team.
Yes. So I would say Dara Mabry on the court. She has been, like I said, she's a great leader. She's very vocal, and she understands and knows the value of her voice, and she does a really good job of bringing the team together. You know, when they're struggling in practice, she's the first one to bring the group together to get them focused. And she's always being vocal. She's always the one leading in our text threads to make sure everyone is where they need to be in whatever situation we have off the court. So she's the one that is my vocal leader. And I also would say Michaela Vaughn, even from the sideline, she brings a different type of energy. She is very loud. And even with her not being on the court, she's the main one on the sidelines that is really, sharing her voice, being super supportive, and that means a lot, especially for somebody that's not physically able to do 5-on-5 with the team yet. So I really appreciate Mick and Dara, taking that leadership role and owning it every day, very consistently. So I know those two voices are always there every day. And so Jaden, he's doing really well. I've had an opportunity to go see him. I took him to lunch a couple weeks ago before they started practice. And so it was really great just to see his evolution. He is, has really adapted well in their system there, and he's really happy and he's ready. So, he's always been my driving force. He's always been my motivation, and just being able to see him live out his dreams to be in college and to play, Big Ten basketball, and just to be in college is just a dream for me and him. So he's doing really well, and I'm very excited to be able to see who he's going to play. First of all, his schedule, and I'm hoping that it matches and aligns where I can get a chance to see him if we do have fans. If not, I definitely will be locked in.